All right, just hit the button.
Cool. What's up, YouTube people? It's Glynda's channel, but I guess I'm doing the intro tonight. So, hey, I'm Faith. I am a community manager and a consultant for online coaches and educators. On this channel, but I guess I'm doing the intro tonight. So, hey, I'm Faith. I am. You gonna turn that down? Anyways, oh God. I help coaches and online educators to support, empower, and impact their online communities and memberships through community management and course facilitation, and some other nice goody things. And this is Glynda, the wonderful host of this channel, cracking up over there. Yeah.
I need to interrupt you for a moment.
I'm done. What's up?
I need to turn the YouTube broadcast down. Okay. And I wanted to push my laundry out of the way. Just keeping it real. Okay, I'm fixed.
You fixed?
I am.
You gonna tell the people who you are?
So I'm Glynda Dove with Dove and Company. And yes, this is my channel, but this is my lovely co-host, Faith Ann. And I help business owners generate consistent and qualified leads with Facebook and Instagram ads. And I set them up, manage them, and help you tweak them. So that's what I do.
Cool. So the topic for our live this week is productivity on purpose. It is a carryover from last week when we were talking about a podcast episode that we both listened to that kind of made us feel some kind of way. And so we decided we were going to start kind of like an experiment and do the activity that was mentioned in the podcast. And the whole podcast was centered around kind of throwing away your to-do list, getting more efficient, more productive, and mapping out your time better. And so basically our task since the last live was writing out everything that we thought we had to do, needed to do, wanted to do, whatever, and then prioritizing it and sticking it on the calendar somewhere, and then staying committed to where we stuck it on the calendar to get it done. So Glynda, how did that process all go with the initial setup?
But why didn't you start with me?
Because I just did all this talking, so now you can talk.
So, writing everything out was not a problem. And so I mentioned this last week. I was feeling some type of way, and let me pause again. If you guys are interested in finding out what we talked about in the first part of the series, you can head over to our Facebook channel, Facebook pages, respectively. Both of us will have the video there, and you can watch that video from last week where we talk about the challenge, and I'll talk about this. One of us will tell you what podcast we listened to and where we got the concept from, and then you can also see other episodes of our talk show, I guess, if you want to say, disruption therapy, and we're talking about business and about life and disrupting all of that. So but anyway, back to what I was saying. So I don't have a problem writing it all out. To be honest, I do this all the time. I write to-do list on everything. I have little sticky notes everywhere. There's lots of scrap paper at my 9 to 5. I will actually go and write notes on that. So I didn't have a problem writing out my to-do list. Actually, when I got done with it, I felt like I should have had more stuff on my to-do list, which, is whatever. But that was not the problem.
What was the problem?
Okay, so the problem was scheduling all that stuff. And I still actually did not finish. So let me just say that my week 1 is not right, but I did not finish, but I got a lot of it done. And it was a lot of like decision making for me, like having to decide what time I'm going to do this, what time I'm not going to do that. How much time I'm going to devote to these activities. Like the exercise forces you to make decisions about how you intentionally choose to use your time, which being intentional about your time is going to help take you to the next level. So next level at the house with my laundry over to the side, or next level with my business, and or next level with, you know, me and being disrupting my own therapy or whatever, you know. So anyway, that was the tough part. I have a few technology issues too, but you know, whatever.
Mhm.
I set all the stuff up and didn't realize I didn't set up reminders. So I'm like, so I got up one morning and I was like, dang, why didn't I get a reminder? Even if I didn't do it, like, why didn't I get a reminder? And then the next day it happened. And I was like, okay, I haven't gone in yet, but I'm like, I must not have set up like reminders. It doesn't matter though, it's in there.
That's good. That's good.
And then I had to choose what calendar I wanted it on, because I have my personal Gmail, then I have a Gmail for my family, then I have a Gmail for my business, and then I have a Google G Suite account, and then I have calendars inside of the accounts and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, how'd you do with writing all your stuff out?
It took me a couple days because I kind of did it like when I had free time. And so the writing the list out part was probably the longest part. But once I got that down, it was kind of just like setting up the calendar. And so the calendar, I just made another calendar that was already on my Google Calendar. And I just made sure that I marked everything as like not busy so that it wasn't messing up like my calendar things for other things that look at that calendar. But I mean, that was pretty easy. I got to play around with colors and stuff, which probably wasn't the point, but I got to play around with colors in my Google Calendar while I was setting things up in there. And I think the first thing that I started noticing when I really got into starting the activity after I set up the calendar was just that I might not have assigned like the correct amount of time to certain things. And so I had to go back in and like reevaluate that. But I liked that the Google Calendar just made it easy because any change you make, you can make it across everything, or you can just make it across one thing and it's like sets it. It's all set. So I like the fact that doing it in Google Calendars that way kind of makes everything more fluid and more representative of like the time that you actually have or that you actually spend doing something, since you can move things around like that.
What are some of the things that you had to have in your calendar?
So I put my stuff for business. So the morning and the afternoon checks, like in the groups and stuff, with putting people in, commenting on posts, that sort of thing, just engagement and community management. So I put that in there for the morning and for the afternoon. I put taking the dog out and doing like the morning routine stuff actually on the calendar. What else is there? I found that for some reason, like once I put everything on the calendar based on like what usually happens in my life, I found myself waking up at like 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning instead of 5:30. So I'd have like an extra hour, hour and a half to do things. And so the first choice I made was the only thing that I was going to change was moving my wake up and morning routine thing up to where I actually woke up. And then the empty space I was going to fill with other things that I wanted to do, or other things that like I wanted to be able to allot more time to, and leave the business things that I had put on the calendar right where they already were in the time slots they were. So I was kind of giving myself more times for the things for me, like personally, if I was waking up earlier in the morning and I had extra time that I hadn't already planned for on my calendar. So that was another interesting thing. What did you notice or find challenging during your exercise?
Well, I don't know. Now, one of the things that I don't know if this doesn't really answer your question. It's my question to you.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one of the things that I wanted to include that was really important to me was a cleaning schedule. And so I know that's so like ridiculous, right?
No,
So
I had like laundry on there, and it wasn't like washing the laundry, it was folding the laundry I had been ignoring for the past 2 weeks. So I totally get it. Yeah, totally get it.
and so I'm using the calendar set up by Clean Mama.
Mm-hmm.
And she has like, I guess, an approach to where you're supposed to do a little bit a day. Um, but you know what? Back to what you said about realizing, and it kind of ties in this too.
Right.
Whatever. So it's I realized that writing the list out of all of these things, even if they all are not scheduled, it puts it into my mind about the things that I need to do. So sometimes I don't, and maybe you don't have this issue, but I don't do the things I need to do because I don't remember them all. They're not fresh on my brain, whatever the case is. But because I wrote all of these things out like in one page, even before I had it, or 2 or 3 pages, even before I actually scheduled some of them out, I was checking stuff off because it was like something that was like in my mind. And so back to the clean mama. And so how that ties in is that I've scheduled my cleaning out for the week based on her calendar, which is there's like 4 or 5 daily tasks you have to do, and you have like 10 or 15 minutes to do these things. And then each day you clean a certain area. And so while I have not, honey child, cleaned any the assigned areas, did me think about my laundry. You're supposed to do a load today. And so today I am doing a load of laundry, and it's going to do start to finish. So they are washing now, and I will be drying and putting them up. And so I'm kind of excited about that. It's like the list and the scheduling puts the things at the forefront of your mind to get them done.
Definitely. And like, so I can see things there. I can definitely see when I'm ignoring things, like when I'm like, ooh, but I don't want to do that thing. Like, so there were some things where I would be like, but I don't want to do that one right now. And so I'd move something else up there and then drag the thing down to underneath it. And so I did that a couple of times. So it kind of made me realize where I was, I guess, avoiding or procrastinating. And so it kind of let me know either that it's something I needed to sit down and actually focus on, or it's something that I needed to reevaluate and take off the list because it wasn't something I wouldn't really wanted to do. So it kind of made me like go back and look at things, especially if I was avoiding them, and looking at why, and like if it was realistic for me to have them on the calendar in the first place.
Okay.
Do you have any moments like that?
No, I need all my stuff. I love it. No, actually I did. When I was writing it all out on when I was not writing it out but scheduling it all, then it made me think like, do I need this? Do I really need to break this down some more? Is this something I can really get done in, this amount of time? So I did a lot of that, and then like, should I clump these things together? Creating videos, is that the same as creating content? Or is this the same as batching? Do I need to melt these things together and maybe do this over 2 days? And also I had to tell myself too to stop like overthinking it and just schedule the stuff. Because we do that. Well, I do that a lot. Like I keep thinking, oh, what about this? I need a day for editing. I need a day to create the actual text. I need a day to. I ain't got time for all that. You end up doing nothing. Are you laughing at me? We haven't sang this.
Because you keep saying, I need a day to do this. I need a day to that. You need a whole day to write the captions, Glynda.
I know. If I'm back to the captions.
Okay.
But, overall, it's a good thing. I need to actually set some time down, though, where I'm going to go back and update everything that I'm doing, update the calendar and readjust. Did you schedule a day for you to, or a time for you to have your download, like your weekly,
like the brain dump thing?
Yeah, there you go.
So I didn't set it to a specific day, even though it seems like Sunday would be a good day. But what I kind of noticed throughout the week is that like when I get home earlier than I'm expecting to, I usually have about 30 minutes. And so what I'll do is I'll just sit down and I'll take that time to kind of just like, write out some things and then move forward with the rest of my schedule from there once I catch up to the time like where there's actually something that I planned out on the calendar.
Did you figure out a way to keep track of this?
What do you mean?
To track your progress. I know she mentions that, and we kind of talked about it last time. Like when you have done these things that you're supposed to do today. Hold on.
Well, I guess the way that I see it is that because they're on the calendar, if they stay on the calendar on that day in that spot, right, it means I did them. So that's like the tick off that they're getting done. And so I haven't like really thought of like a different way to kind of make that stand out, because if I didn't do something, then it's getting moved over to another day, right? Because it wasn't done. And so it still needs to be something that's like reassigned its position on the calendar.
Oh, girl, I don't do it. It just ain't done.
Okay, what you doing? What you doing?
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. Eventually, it needs to be done.
Right, right. But you can only do that so much, otherwise you just keep pushing back things on the calendar. But it will like work for like one or two small things. So
Okay, and so just to fill everybody in, if you're watching, I do see that there are a couple people watching on YouTube. One of the things that where we got this whole idea from is from Brooke Castillo, and she is I'll pull it up. Un momento. You like that, didn't you? Okay, and apparently something's not on mute somewhere because I can hear myself.
yeah, I just opened up the video. You did.
Okay, and so it is the life coach school, entrepreneurial. That's something else. She does the life coach school. She's in charge of that. That's her business, and she kind of teaches you how to like coach yourself. I know that's part of the big things that one of the things that she's known for. And she has a podcast, and so this is episode 261. This is Brooke Castillo and the Life Coach School, and it's called Throw Away Your To-Do List. And so we listened to it. It's really a webinar that she did on this, and she repurposed her content and created a podcast episode of it. So you'll hear her talking to like reading comments from the screen or whatever. And I think there's like a worksheet that goes with it. You can use it, you cannot use it. But basically, she is showing you how to throw away your to-do list, how to create more time and get more efficient in every area of your life. And so that's what Faith Ann and I did. We listened to the podcast, and now we're following through on what the activity is. This was our first week doing it, or half doing it for me. But I don't know. Do you want to follow up with this like again next week and talk about like our progress?
I think we could do it maybe like every 2 weeks or something like that. That way it gives us a chance to talk about something else.
Okay.
Besides this experiment.
Oh, that's cool. And you should check out the episode if you decide to join us in this journey. Yeah. Leave us a comment. Let us know where you are, what you're doing. But yeah, I feel like I had something else I wanted to share about this. I don't know. So how do you feel about it?
Good. So it kind of, I don't know. I feel like when I sat down to actually start doing things, like I would get a rhythm and like it would be cool. So it was kind of like if you ever do co-working, like for some reason when you go to co-working, you actually work and it like feels like you're just super starting to do everything. That's kind of what it was like once I got into it and got the groove. And so I like that because it's like, I did this for, the 30, 45 minutes and what's on the calendar next? All right, move on to that. Like I realized that I like the idea of having a hard stop time for anything that I do. That way I'm not like getting distracted or wondering or, doing something that I shouldn't be doing for too long. So I like that aspect of it. Like if I just have the Google Calendar up, that little line tickers down the event as you're coming to the close, and you just look over and you're like, okay, on to the next thing. So I didn't talk to Alexa as much this week because my Google Calendar told me all the reminders, but whatever.
Do you feel like this is something you'll continue beyond our experiment?
I mean, I definitely like to stick with it at least, for a solid month and just see how things play out.
Oh, man, you put a time frame on it.
Well, because doesn't it take like, I don't know the time frame for developing a habit or whatever, but stick with it long enough to like, see the benefits and the changes and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Oh, no, that's good. I didn't think about it. This is something I had adopted as my new lifestyle that I hadn't completed, but
So you're sticking with this long term?
Say it again.
You're long term, going with this long term?
I need something, to
Well, how long are you going to experiment with this? That's the better
No,
question.
the 30 days. I'm down with that.
Okay, cool. So that gives us one check-in at week 3, and then something like a wrap up 2 weeks after that. So that's good.
Okay. Somebody should write that down.
We have proof here in this video.
Oh, who's gonna watch it? Yeah.
All right.
To confirm.
Mm-hmm.
No, but okay, yes, it sounds good. I like it. 30 minutes. I mean 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Um I had something. Oh, something else I'm kind of get away from is all the little pieces of to-do notes. So
Did you get away from that at all?
yes, because I wrote it all in that one notebook, but then when I think about things during the day, I'm trying to figure out where I want to keep those things.
I
I have
got one of those composite notebooks. You know what I'm talking about? Got one of
that was
those.
50 cents because
Mm-hmm.
it's back to school. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you're toting this around with you in your life?
A composite notebook, yeah. I have like 2 of them. So I have one that I write down anything that has to do with social media so I can get my life together with consistency around that. And then I have the other one. It's just for writing down like things like brain dumping and things I think I need to do and that sort of thing. So,
Oh, that's nice.
if I have individual sheets of paper, then none of them will survive. So,
No, I have a purse full of individual sheets of paper. They provide a nice cushion for my laptop when I stick it in there. Okay.
all right. So I guess
You got more stuff on your to-do list for today?
my Google Calendar says so.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm not sure what mine says, but it's not good. Like, I was going to schedule this. I didn't, but this is going to be on there. That was important to me.
All right. All right. So let's wrap this up.
All right, that's cool.
Coco.
So anyway, it was fun joining you on YouTube today, since that's not a place that we've shown up before together. I did want to figure out, and we can discuss it here, and somebody knows y'all can put the answer in the comments. I tried to share it on Facebook, on the Facebook business page, but it's the graphic is like an old graphic of mine, which I'm not sure how they pulled that or where they got that from. Well, I know it's mine, but I'm not sure where they pulled it from.
Did you do a series before that has to do with that graphics? And if you did you make that like one of the automatic features like of the any new videos that you post? Because I know YouTube will let you set like default settings. And I'm wondering if that's an option, like having that graphic as a default setting for like when your videos are shared out or embedded in other sites, something like that.
It may be, but I'm not 100% sure. So do me a favor and smile. I'll let you know when to stop. Keep smiling. Okay, so I took a screenshot. So with the crosshairs, so it's like just of this picture. And then if the picture doesn't change when we stop, then I'll replace it with this image.
Makes sense.
But anyway, so thanks for joining us. Again, I am Glynda with Dove & Company. I help business owners generate consistent and qualified traffic and leads to boost their income, all with the use of the wonderful magic of Facebook and Instagram ads. And this is
Faith Ann. I am the owner of Reinvision Resources. I help coaches and online educators to support, empower, and impact their online communities and membership through community management, course facilitation, and related services that help them boost retention and profit.
So check us out next week here on YouTube. If you got any questions, shoot us a DM or leave us a message here on YouTube. Shoot us an email. I don't know if they're DMs on YouTube. Probably not. But
yeah, because I got a friend request from my boyfriend like a month ago, even though he's not on YouTube.
That's right. There are DMs on there. Anyway, it was nice chilling with you guys. See you all later. Adios.